Hey guys, welcome back to the first episode of 2024. I know it's been a while, but I've had some stuff going on around here at the moment, and it is good to be back. Great to be starting off the year with a fantastic story. Brisbane Woolworths has been vandalised by some people will call them heroes, some people call them vandals, or whatever you want to call them. But I think that these are just people who have had enough and are finally speaking out and maybe not in the right way, but they are saying their piece, and they'll pay the consequences for the way they've done that. But we'll get into it straight away here on ABC. A story from ABC. Now, ABC is obviously very biased against these people, and obviously very biased for Woolworths, protecting a massive multi-billion-dollar company that is stealing from Australians and basically raking us over the coals with every dollar we spend there. And it just goes to show that no matter how big the company, no matter how many billions of dollars they make a year, that the left and anyone on the left will promote them if they support the right thing. Now, if they're not supporting the right thing, like someone like Elon Musk, even though he used to be on their bandwagon, or they used to be on his bandwagon with the whole electric cars and environmental sustainability and things like that, because he has an opinion, because he has a voice, he is now on the outskirts. But places like Woolworths are towing the line, and they are promoting their agenda, the agenda that the left likes to push, like this Cancel Australia Day agenda that has caused this incident in particular. Now, whether it's completely about that, or whether it's about them price hiking everything and scalping money off of locals and farmers, and basically just screwing over the Australian public, there, people who the people who support them, they don't care about you. They don't care about their customers. They only care about their profits, and they will do whatever they need to do to increase their profits. So if we do actually stand behind people calling for a boycott, you don't have to stand with people like Peter Dutton. I think Peter Dutton's a bit of a moron anyway. Vote for LNP and Labor and all that. They're all the same people. At the end of the day, I think we need something new. Politicians are all basically cut from the same cloth. I don't really care for what any of them have to say, but if we promote this boycott and stick by it, and it actually hurts Woolworths in the hip pocket, kind of like Budweiser after the Dylan Mulvaney incident, they might change their tune. They might come back into the fold and start supporting everyday Aussies. I don't think that'd be the case with Woolworths, Coles, or anyone like that, because they're a little too big to fail, and the everyday Aussie doesn't care about things like this. They don't care about the culture war. But that's why you're here, because you do. You're interested. You know what's going on around you. You have a stake in the matter, and you have a stake in the matter with your kids, whether it's your family you're protecting, or you just want to be more aware of what's going on around you. I'm glad you're here. Now let's get into this story from the ABC. Brisbane Woolworths store vandalised with graffiti amid Australia Day merchandise controversy. A Brisbane Woolworths store has been vandalised after the supermarket's chain decision to stop selling specific Australia Day merchandise. The Woolworths Metro in Tenerife store and commercial road was closed on Monday after it was spray painted with profanities, and a flare was placed under the door, triggering a fire alarm. Police were called to the store around 5 a.m, and the 3 Queensland fire and emergency service crews attended the scene. Now you can see a bit of the graffiti there. They're acting like they have burnt down this store and killed 1 million people. The amount of people on Twitter that have, let's just say they've got flags in their bio and pronouns, carrying on about poor Woolworths has sustained this attack, and they're just not going to be able to cope because Peter Dutton is fueling the fires and flames of division in the Australian community, when actually it's people like them on Twitter complaining that poor billion-dollar company had some mischief happen to them, and they're suffering greatly, obviously. Woolworths, how will they recover after this? We'll never know. The graffiti written on the exterior of the supermarket store read 5 days, 26th of January, Aussie, oi, 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 Woolworths, F you, and the words boycott Woolies were spray painted on the entrance doors. Well, they took a while to spray paint all that. And, yeah, well, hats off to them. I don't think they misspelled anything. A crime scene has been declared, and the Queensland Police have called for public assistance after releasing CCTV of the incident. You can see that there. Just saying, I don't think I've ever seen a Woolies that Oh, it's Metro Woolies, I suppose. I mean, like, it must be like a yuppie part of Brizzy, where all those people like their barista made coffee in Woolworths. Yeah, because you go to Woolworths for a coffee, a barista made coffee. They're probably just upset they couldn't go and get their chai latte there in the morning or their soy fucking milk, and that's why they're complaining about these people doing this on Twitter. The graffiti, in a statement, the Woolworths Group spokesman said, thankfully no team members or customers were injured in this as this occurred before the store opened. I can guarantee you a lot of those people who went to work that day were happy that it happened because they didn't have to do a full day's work, and a lot of them probably got paid for a full day's work. We're grateful to the police and the fire brigade who attend. There is no reason for vandalism. We'll continue to liaise with the Queensland Police, the statement said. Residents, oh look, it's coming off with a gurney, so I think they'll recover. Old mate there's even got a day's work out of it. Residents of the apartment above the building said they were evacuated early hours in this morning. Around 4:40 a.m. in the morning, the alarm went off and all were out and about downstairs. 2 fire engines lasted about half an hour, and I think they realised it was the Woolworths here on the corner, and we were sent back up. A resident told ABC News on Monday morning. The poor Woolworths in Tenerife. The incident follows Woolworths Group announcement last week confirming their stores would not stock specific Australia Day merchandise, and explaining the decision, the company said there had been gradual decline in demand for the merchandise in recent years, which we know is a lie because I don't really know about anyone going to Woolworths and buying Australia Day merchandise. I mean, people carry on, oh, it's made in China and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? It's the fact that they're actively campaigning and sending their money and spending their money against what the views of everyday Australians are. They are promoting this WEF World Forum agenda. They are pushing for things like The Voice, how much money they put into the Voice vote. These people pick a side of the left in this case, and then they complain when someone who opposes their views says something about them or does something as violent, and I wouldn't say violent, but I suppose it could have been if the building had caught fire, violent as this. And they actively try to condemn people attacking them for their views. But if you hold the view that Australia Day should be the 26th, and we should all support Australians and promote Australia Day as like one nation, and we're all here together like just about everyone I know does. I don't know really anyone in real life anyway, besides on X and places like that don't want Australia Day to be left alone and where it is. Same with Anzac Day, things like that. And then if we promote that and we say we're for that, they attack us. But if we attack them back about trying to call us racist and call us bigoted and idiots or whatever you want to call them. The amount of names have been called on Twitter in the last couple of days, or X, is astounding. But water off a duck's back. Anyway, it's interesting to see. As soon as we retaliate in any switch way, or anyone on our side does, all hell breaks loose. The media grabs a hold of it, like this here, ABC, and they use it as a bludgeoning tool to beat people into submission and say, look, this is what these right-wing extremists, or in America it'd be MAGA cultists or whatever it is, are doing, and they are a threat to our democracy and a threat to our way of life, when actually Woolworths and places like that and companies like that are a threat to the Australian democracy and Australian way of life. They are undermining everything we stand for. They are dividing the people between black and white, gay and straight, religious, non-religious, you name it. Wherever there's a division, they will be jamming a wedge in there and trying to force that division wide open to the point of conflict. Now, this is where it's come to. This point has become a point of conflict for these people who did this, and I don't blame them. It's pretty disheartening that every day we go out and we support our country, we build this country into a better place, we promote the things that we do, and we generally help other people. Australians are known for helping other countries and helping other people, and being a calmer head in the world stage. If there's an issue, Australia's there, and whatever little help we can do, we're there to help. And places like Woolworths are trying to make us sound like that we're all racists, that we're bigots, and that we're anti-Semitic, wherever they want to go, even though they like promoting this pro-Palestine thing and calling for the death of Jews between to the river and the sea, things like that. They promote those kind of things. But then as soon as someone comes out on the right-hand side of any of the arguments and says something mildly violent or mildly abrupt even, they call them Nazis or literally been called Nazis in the last 10 minutes on X. It's entertaining to see. This is it says here it has been a gradual decline in demand for the merchandise. That's completely false. I guarantee you they have just been winding it down, pretending that they are just not making the cut with the money. They're just not going to make money out of it. They don't mind wasting money on The Voice, but they wouldn't want to waste money on some Australia Day merchandise. Isn't that interesting? It just shows you where their standards are on the matter. The announcement prompted federal opposition leader Peter Dutton to call for Australians to boycott Woolworths over this decision not to sell the products. Notice how he said to boycott Woolworths. He didn't say go and firebomb and spray paint Woolworths. The state opposition leader David Crisafilli said that no business should be targeted by vandals. I have heard it's directly linked. I haven't heard if it's directly linked. If it is, that's poor form, and other people in the country like Australia should be able to conduct their business without vigilantes, he said. But Mr. Christopher said that he felt that the supermarket giant made a mistake by stopping the sale of Australia Day specific merchandise. Mr. Dutton's office has also been contacted for comment. So he might have even made a comment there, but the ABC just chose not to share it because maybe it was just a good comment and they couldn't shine a bad light on him or something. But Woolworths will recover. I'm sure they are actually taking a bit of a hit at the moment on the stock market. Their stocks have fallen. But whether that's got to do with their recent outing themselves as anti-Australian, which we've known for a while now. And the last few years, this argument comes up every year. People saying that we need to change the date. People saying it's Invasion Day and it's racist. None of these people are actually based in any form or even in the room with any facts, but they just go and call you a bigot, a racist, and even homophobic and things like that just for saying that Australia Day should be on the 26th, which is kind of hilarious if you ask me. But what do you guys think anyway? Do you think Woolworths is going to suffer at the hands of a boycott? I truly hope so, because I know that I am not shopping at Woolworths. I have not shopped at Woolworths in a while, but I will go out of my way to make sure I do not shop at a Woolworths, whether it's at their Bottle-O, they own a lot of pubs and clubs in town. They own, I think it's like 70% or something, some massive amount of pubs, clubs and Bottle-Os in Australia. I think that every dollar we spend in Australia, 30 cents, at least 30 cents of that ends up in the hands of Woolworths and Coles. This massive duopoly that they have going here in Australia is strangling any competition. They literally go and buy blocks of land and then leave them barren so no other supermarket chain can come in and build there and possibly compete with them. They are killing this country bit by bit, dollar by dollar, and the Australian people, some of them, have had enough. Now, if you're watching this show, if you're watching any commentators like me or anyone like that on YouTube and places like Rumble and that, where we hang out, where we're allowed to have an opinion, YouTube's getting harder and harder to have an opinion. X, places like that are great, but if you watch that, you're obviously clued on, you're switching on what's going on. But a lot of everyday people do not understand this culture war that is going on. They do not understand the amount of propaganda that is being pushed upon them and their loved ones and kids through TV, Netflix, Amazon Prime, things like that. I was watching 5-10 minutes of a show that my wife was watching, and every time I see something, it's always propaganda. She's watching the show at the moment. It's based in a hospital. It's everything about it's propaganda. They have a dwarf doctor. They have a gay, non-binary, black lesbian doctor. Who knows? It's an episode I was watching just the other day that with her whilst having dinner. They have a mute doctor who has to sign language, and she can't talk, but she's apparently a surgeon and is conducting surgery on a person, and they just happen to have someone with her who can talk for her all the time. It's just woke nonsense, but little things like that aren't too bad, but it's just the sheer volume of it, the sheer volume of people telling you that you support Australia, that you're a racist, you're a bigot, blah, 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 it's Invasion Day. Enough people are just going to get sick of that, and some people are going to lash out. These people lashed out, and I think, honestly, probably not the best way to do it, but I really don't care for Woolworths. If someone went and burnt down one of their stores, I wouldn't be too broken up about it. I'm sure Woolworths wouldn't be too broken up about it. It'd be a terrible thing to do, and people shouldn't do things like that. But they're not going to suffer a lot at the hip pocket. I mean, you don't want to hurt anyone. That's the major thing. Woolworths, honestly, boycott them is the best bet. If we could boycott Woolworths, go outside and protest at the front of Woolworths and Coles as well, even Coles. That'd be the best bet. But everyday people need to wake up and smell the shit on their boots, because they are promoting this just by even shopping there. They are promoting this anti-Australian agenda. They're promoting this World Economic Forum agenda, where they just want us to be all some sort of mass migration destination here in Australia. It's not fair on the Australian people who have worked hard and built up this country, immigrants included. Australia is an immigrant country. We were all forcibly dragged here in balls and chains, and shoved ashore with nothing to do but turn this country into what it is now. And these people are trying to destroy it, and they're trying to divide it, whether it's through The Voice, whether it's through things like this, not supporting Australia Day. But I know what I will be doing on Australia Day. I will be getting absolutely shit-faced on Australian-made beer, Australian-made rum, and I will be supporting Australia, and I will be doing what's right for Australia, and getting hammered on Australia Day, because let's face it, that's how we celebrate. Now, do not go and shop at Woolworths. Do not go and shop at Coles. You really look into what companies and what their views are at this point in time, because if there is a company out there that is actively trying to take your money from you and take your rights and freedoms away from you, why would you want to go out there and help that company in any which way? And it's very hard. I mean, with the boycott for, say, Bud Light there in the US, that was hard because Anheuser-Busch, who owns Bud Light, owns a lot of other beers. But it's not hard to go and change a beer. It's not hard to go and change where you shop. So we went shopping at a local IGA the other day. $450 for a fortnightly grocery shop was actually under budget for us, which was good. Cheaper, local produce. I'm not a fan of that local IGA anyway. I have other issues with them, but it's cheaper and it's local produce. I'd rather go to a fruit stall that work down on the corner and buy from them. At least they're Australians and they're locals and they're growing it, and all the money goes straight back into the community. Not like Woolworths, where it goes into their coffers and is never seen again, only to increase their profits, and which those are profits are then used to take away our rights, take away our freedoms, and tell us that we're racist, bigoted, and all sorts of other things. Now, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that more people should be standing up against Woolworths, boycotting them? I know I'll be boycotting. Will you be joining the boycott? Service stations, bottle-os, pubs, clubs, shopping centres, things like that, all of them must be boycotted, and hopefully they will come to see the light. But I highly doubt it. What do you guys think anyway? Let me know now in the comments below. And we're going to be taking a look at this story here, and it is a little confusing. I am trying hard to wrap my head around it. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm pretty tech savvy, and I have been on the internet since the internet was incepted. Now, British police, bear with me, investigating, let's say, probing might not be the most appropriate word for this, virtual RAPE case in the metaverse. Now, we're going to be careful with our words here, so do not immediately get delisted in YouTube and other places like that. But yeah, you can read it right there. British police probe virtual case in the metaverse. Young girl's digital persona is sexually attacked by a gang of adult men in immersive video game, sparking first investigation of its kind. Sorry, it's not funny, but it's hilarious. Of its kind, and questions about the extent of current laws apply in online world. Now, if you're not sure what the metaverse is Mark Zuckerberg, aka the Facebook dictator, the guy who invented Facebook. It's his version of an online universe with VR and chat rooms. Remember, like the old chat rooms back in the day? It was like a black box text. You could send a couple of emoji kind of things before emojis were really a trend. This is back when you used to play like Snake on your Nokia. Things like that. It was a chat room where you could go in there and as a child we could get groomed by adults on the internet immediately. That was entertaining. But now they just take drag queens to kindergartens and groom you that way. But at least it's a lot more personal now. It was pretty impersonal when it was happening to us. But the metaverse is like a cartoony kind of world where you can make your own character and you can walk around and talk to people and play games and shop and do things like that. But it's all in this metaverse, which is basically a really shitty looking cartoony game. It's kind of like the Wii characters from like Wii Sports and things like that. That's kind of what it looks like. So I don't think they've actually implemented a sexual function in that game where you can have the appropriate anatomy to R word someone. But apparently, this girl in England was R worded by a bunch of online characters, I suppose. Police are investigating the first case of R word in the metaverse after a child was attacked in a virtual reality video game. Now, I'm just going to call it out here. Now, the English police are renowned for ignoring grooming gangs in England. They're renowned for ignoring R-wordists and letting them get away with literal murder and R-wording people in England. But if you say something online, if you offend someone, if you possibly say something possibly homophobic and or racist, they will come after you with the entire full force of the law, especially in places like Scotland. You can ask Count Dankula how his joke with his making his dog do the Nazi salute went. That did not end out well for him. It did in one way and didn't in another way. But we'll keep reading this story here. The headset wearing victim did not suffer any injuries as there was no physical attack. But the police are still wasting their time anyway. But officers said she suffered the same psychological and emotional trauma as someone who had been R-worded in the real world, as the VR experience is designed to be completely immersive. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like it is really, really diminishing people who actually have been R-worded in real life. It's diminishing their trauma. It's like saying, you may have had your arm cut off or something like that, but I stubbed my toe once. Yes. And even in this case, like stubbing your toe would leave you with an injury because, yeah, we've all done that. I did it the other day on the robot vacuum. I just about yeeted the cunt across the room. But she wasn't hurt in any way. So it was just psychological trauma, which isn't good. Psychological trauma is bad. But have you ever played a Call of Duty video game? Have you ever played Hell Let Loose? I've been playing that recently. I've been streaming that. You can come and watch that over on Rumble because YouTube doesn't like my streaming at the moment. So we'll just go to Rumble and do it where we can say and do what we want. Have you ever played anything like that? That gives you PTSD. Hell Let Loose is a World War II simulator game. That gives you PTSD. Have you ever been teabagged after being killed or team killed even? Team killing's like half the game. That might give you some emotional trauma. Have you ever played Ark Survival Evolved and put tens of thousands of hours into it as a group and then just been wiped out by admins or a cheater? That might give you some PTSD or some emotional trauma. But you know what? You can't go and sue someone over it or get them arrested. And I sure as hell wouldn't want police and federal agents putting their time and effort into seeing to that someone gets punished for some perceived emotional trauma. Now, if you've ever played Ark Survival Evolved, you've got emotional trauma. We all know that. Virtual reality headsets were expected to be a popular gift this Christmas, with the NSPCC estimating that over 50% of children aged between 5 and 10 have one, and 6% use one daily. Now, I haven't even got a VR headset, and technology is not really there yet, so I wouldn't want to go and spend a bunch of money on something then you buy the wrong brand, or, it'd be like buying a Sega or something now. When there's Xbox and PlayStation out there and PC, you don't really know which one to choose. It's like you might end up with a Nintendo instead of an Xbox or something. Led by Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg's tech giants have bet billions of pounds on drawing people young and old towards the virtual realm of the metaverse, selling the chance to live in a digitized fantasy life. You sign up for it. You want to live in this virtual reality world, and you're getting teabagged, or I don't know how you get molested or R-worded in this thing. I don't think it's possible. They don't make the ability for your characters to do that. We'll take a look at some of the footage, and I don't think it's possible. It's like saying that you were R-worded in Minecraft. If you've ever played Minecraft, I don't think it's possible to happen. I don't get it. I don't know where this complaint has even, who listens to these complaints and go, do you know what? I'm really going to follow up on that and not just go, okay, yeah, good. See you later. Bye. Yeah, I don't get it. But the landmark case has prompted questions whether police should be given pursuing virtual offences, given police and prosecutors are currently struggling with an enormous backlog of actual R-word cases, and if such an attack should be prosecuted under the current laws. If you can say that you have been R-worded by someone on the internet without any physical contact, without any sexual contact in any which way, because it's not possible in the metaverse, what else can they accuse you of? Can you just, if I joined my friend's Minecraft server and lined every single building and village with TNT and then set it off, would I get done for genocide? Because that's the same thing. That's the same thing. There's no difference. That could upset him. He could have put thousands of hours or hundreds of hours into that and building it and blah, 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 blah. And I just go and go, boop, TNT, blow up his whole thing. There's no more villages left. His whole thing's ruined. His little art project's ruined. That's the same thing. That's what we're talking about here. If you're playing Call of Duty and someone calls you the N-word or someone calls you the R-word, someone teabags you, a team kills you and blows you up or does whatever. I've been trolled on Call of Duty that many times. It's not funny. Have you ever been spawn camped in a game? That is infuriating. This... is there supposed to be some sort of actual real life ramification from that? Besides you're doing it to your friend or something, and you go around to his house and punch him in the mouth. I mean, what are we doing here? Details of the extraordinary virtual reality case have been kept secret to protect the child involved, amid fears that for several reasons a prosecution will not be possible. Because it shouldn't be possible. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care anymore. These people have lost their shit. Do you want to bet that this person, this girl, whatever, is wearing cat ears and a butt plug at the same time? Do you want to bet that their persona is some sort of anime girl cat thing or something like that, and they just piss and shit in a litter box all day? Because this is the mental cases that would bring something to the police's attention like that. We must go to the police immediately. It's insane. One senior officer familiar with the case said the child experienced psychological trauma similar to that of someone who has been physically R-worded. Press X for doubt. Like, bullshit. Seriously? You're trying to say, like, you have the same emotional trauma and psychological trauma, as someone who it happened to in real life? I doubt it. If they made a Gaza Strip simulator where you were in the Gaza Strip and you were just getting bombed by Israelis, and you went and played that game for half an hour, so you get to say that you know what they're going through? And it's not even like the graphics are good. Like, they're not like Avatar graphics or anything like that. They're Wii console graphics. Like, you ever play Wii Sports? That's what these avatars look like. And you're trying to say that you and the police officer thinks that they've suffered the same similar damage? This is insanity. It poses a number of challenges for law enforcement given the current legislation. Yes, it should. You shouldn't be able to get anyone in trouble for this. It's not set up for this. There has been a number of reported sex attacks on Horizon Worlds, a free VR online game run by Facebook's owner Meta. This is insane. You cannot be sexually attacked on a video game. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's R-word simulator. You can't get attacked on it. It's a video game, for God's sakes. In Horizon Worlds, users create their own avatars and animated online representation of themselves that they can design and control while wearing the virtual reality headset and associated equipment. Nina Jane Patel, a psychotherapist who conducts research in the metaverse, has described a surreal nightmare of being gang R-worded in Horizon venues. The chairman of the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners, Donna Jones, told the Mail that the women in Women and children deserve greater protection. You notice how they're not showing that many pictures of what the graphics look like in that game? They're making it look like this really cool, unique, futuristic thing. It's not. We need to update our laws to become more. They have not kept past the risk of harm that are developing for artificial intelligence offending on platforms like the metaverse. The government needs to look at the changing law to protect women and children from harm in these virtual environments. What about protecting men? What if they were R-worded by a man? If a bloke was R-worded in some sort of prison simulator, or maybe like what would it be? Catholic priest simulator. Would they be trying to protect you then? A senior police officer told the Mail that sexual offending in the metaverse is now rife. But I'm joining. I've got to go and get a VR headset. This sounds fun. But so far, I'd love to be sexually abused online. It's entertaining. I haven't been sexually abused on the internet before. I don't know how that would work. I mean, I've had mates send me photos of their nuts. Does that count? Can I sue Tom? Can I send the police around to his house for sending me a photo of his ball sack? A senior police officer told the Mail that sexual offending in the metaverse is now rife, but so far there has been no UK prosecutions for such offending, despite police receiving reports of other potential offences, including the theft of one avatar's valuable sword. Someone stole their sword. Now, if that happened in real life, I think you send the entire police force after that person, because you don't steal a man's sword. But it happened in Meta. It happened in Metaverse. It happened. It didn't happen. That's the thing. It didn't happen. It's a bunch of ones and zeros. It didn't happen. Police believe developments in the gaming have opened up new avenues for cybercrime, including virtual robbery, ransomware, fraud, and identity theft. Oh my God, virtual robbery. Someone went and stole my box of diamonds I had in Minecraft. Send the police. Current legislation is unlikely to cover R-word in the metaverse as sexual assault is defined as sexual offence act the physical touching of another person sexually without their consent. As it should be, because that's the only way you can be R-worded, isn't it? The nature of the metaverse also blurs geographical boundaries, making it difficult to determine which law enforcement agency in the jurisdiction over the particular incident when users and perpetrators are in different countries. He R-worded me from Italy, and I was in England. It was definitely in Italian. You know it would have been in Italian. Maybe a German. Italians. They're very R-word looking on the internet, you know. A spokesman for Meta said the kind of behavior described has no place on our platform, which is why all users have automatic protection called personal boundary, which keeps people you don't know a few feet away from you. So it's physically impossible to have happened in there anyway. You have a personal boundary where people can't touch you. It's like having a force field. Mr. Critchley added, we know offenders' tactics to groom and commit offences are constantly evolving. This is why a collective fight against predators like this in the case are essential in ensuring people are protected online and can use technology safely without threat or fear. The metaverse creates a gateway for predators to commit horrific crimes against children, crimes we have no lifelong impact both emotionally and mentally. Yes, that is true. Metaverse, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is a major one. Things like Roblox, any online thing. You need to be watching what your children are watching. You need to be involved in what they are doing online because they can be groomed, they can be R-worded, they can be taken somewhere. There's a million people out there. Alex Rosen who goes and blows these people up so that you know what these people are doing, and he catches child predators and exposes them. When someone on the right, like Alex Rosen, goes and exposes a child predator, they are mocked by people on the left, mocked by people who push this agenda. And they said, oh, you're just weird that you're doing that thing and blah, blah, blah. That's disgusting that these people will attack someone like him who regularly goes out there and catches predators like this. And if you are interested in learning more and how to protect your kids, I suggest you go and watch anything Alex Rosen puts out. Our Timcast episode, a Culture War episode with Alex Rosen on there, where he talks about things like that. And if you haven't seen it, go and watch The Sound of Freedom. I watched it just the other day. You can download it, buy it, or rent it on Amazon Prime. Not that I'm really a fan of Amazon Prime, but that's one way to go and watch it. Buy it off their website. It's disgusting. It's scary. It's shocking. But people need to know what your kids are watching online. If you do not know what your kids are doing on the internet, then you are a bad parent. Hands down. Hands down. If you do not know what they are up to 90% of the time on the internet, when they're a kid, especially when they're as young as 15 or 16 like this girl, you're a bad parent. What are you doing? As such, a policing approach must continually evolve to enable us to relentlessly pursue predators, safeguard victims all across online spaces. Passing of an online safety act is instrumental to this, and we must see much more action from tech companies to make their platforms safe spaces. Now, I'll break this down for you in very simple terms. The world is not a safe space. Bringing out something called an Online Safety Act. They are trying to do that here in Australia. They're trying to do that in the US. They're doing it around the country. They're doing it around the world. They are trying to neuter the internet and get rid of your anonymity because of these fake allegations of R-wording and child sex and things like that. They ignore the actual cases and hate on the people who are actively going out there and stopping that. They called the Sound of Freedom a far right-wing conspiracy theory. It shows you what their motivations are. They don't care about protecting children. You can see that with the amount of propaganda they're pushing to cut kids' genitals off and put them on hormone blockers and bring drag queens into schools and teaching them about anal sex and teaching them how to use Grindr as young as 5. They are not there to take care of children. They pretending they care about children. They do not. They want them to basically use them as they will, and it's disgusting. I'm sick of it. They go and portray themselves as these heroes that are out there just to make the world place for kids. And we're going to make the internet safe. You cannot make the internet safe without going full totalitarian dictatorship. It is impossible. If you ban free speech on the internet, if you ban free speech in any way, you are a dictator. This is insanity that these people, and a lot of people will get behind them and say, yes, we need to start an online safety app because someone said a rude word to me on the internet. Sticks and fucking stones is still very, very relevant. When did it stop becoming relevant? It's insane that these people get told that they get something bad happen to them on the internet because they're generally a boomer and they're a fucking moron, and you say something mean to them and they go, oh, quick, we must stop all that. You put it out on any Facebook group because it's all full of boomers. There's no one on there except for boomers now, and nut jobs promoting flat earth and things like that, and a lot of Antifa groups, shit like that. You put it out there and they say, yes, we should have, everyone needs to, like Nikki Haley was saying, they want to show a government ID to use Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. You have to go and show your ID and put your name to the things you say on the internet. Now, I get where they're coming from. It's like some people think, oh, well, you shouldn't be able to be an online troll. Maybe you should just harden the fuck up and get over it. Like, seriously, if someone says something mean to you on the internet, it's not the end of the world. Go outside, touch fucking grass, get over it. It's not the end of the world. Come on. But this case here, if this goes through, if the police even looking at it, is a waste of time. This is what they're spending your money on in England. Are you proud of that? Well, they let real R-wordists and real groomers and that get away with it. Not only just get away with it, they promote them. They bring them into the country and then they protect them. What do you guys think anyway? Do you think this case should be just thrown out? Do you think this case has validity? Do you think that that could actually happen to someone on the internet or metaverse? Maybe one day we've all got brain chips and we're living in an AI reality. Maybe then, I don't know. But I don't think having your Wii character on the metaverse thing getting R-worded is possible right now. I don't know. What do you guys think anyway? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.